What's the narrative right now? It's NoFluxes versus the fucking world. That's the narrative.
If I can talk to any liberal one-on-one and get it in an interview, right, and everything on camera, and I would ask them if I could, what are your guidelines for your agenda? What are the rules? I want them written down in front of me so you can show me where they are so I can follow them correctly so I don't accidentally offend people again. Because you see, I don't understand what the rules are to liberalism, leftism, or whatever, because I don't even care at this point, you know, whether it's just a generic liberal or someone who's very far left radical. I think that they don't even understand their rules, and it's all shadow work shit, it's all unspoken shit, and they just get you whenever they please, whenever they want to. Whenever they want to deem you as a threat to their agenda, you supposedly broke the rules. And they never would have told you what it was, so that's... How the fuck are you supposed to follow it then? We don't need strong men talking out to a corrupt agenda to play a little game. Because this shouldn't be about politics to begin with, dude. That's exactly why. And I don't give a shit if culture says one side is good. I don't give a shit if, you know, they're determining that for me. You want to say one side is positive or whatever? Okay, well, you're not God, though. You don't get to determine everything for us. My thing was an accident, and it got fabricated, and they framed me out to be a white supremacist. So that doesn't even make any sense. That's a big distraction, dude. They just don't want the real white people taking the heat for it, man. They're afraid of racism. And honestly, dude, I'm not the one that made the gorilla joke. I'm not the one that made that shit up, man. How you gonna blame that on me? I'm not the one that made that comparison or whatever. People have been making that shit historically, but that wasn't me. That wasn't even Hispanics that made that shit up either. So of course I'm gonna bring that up. Why am I, you know, held accountable for something I never actually conveyed? That doesn't even make any sense. Like white people telling me, you're guilty for the thing we created. What the fuck, dude? That's what happened there. Just saying, man, I'm not actually guilty for racism. That's bullshit. It wasn't racism, dude. You know what it was. It was that they freaked out. Because they're already too woke. And because they're too woke, they couldn't look at it as something that wasn't that. They looked at it as, oh, this is racism because this offends us. It's like, well, yeah, but you're not thinking logically, using emotion only. It's like purely emotion that you got triggered, offended, because you already felt like this was something that people used in a racist way. Okay, I understand all of that, but that's just not what the intention was, and it wasn't, and it shouldn't have been a permaban anyway. I shouldn't be permanently banned because of that bullshit, dude. But they started it, and because they started it, they tried to get rid of me over nothing, and they fabricated it, and they said, oh, he's making threats, talking about pipe bombs and shit. All of a sudden, supposedly, they're talking about, like, you got idiots like Ringler and shit, telling people that I was gonna build a pipe bomb, you know? You had people like him out there, like, spreading fake news and shit. Like, I was actually gonna do it for real. Like, come on, dude. How immature, how childish for somebody to suggest that, you know, this crazy, wacky theory that I was gonna do that shit, harm my local scene. Really, dude? Were you really just trying to farm me for likes that desperately? That's some soulless ass behavior, man. That's some soulless ass behavior. And a lot of these people are white too, man. They want to sell me off. I'm never gonna cook out, dude. They wanted me to actually just flat out admit to the thing. You're crazy, dude. I'm not gonna admit to some shit like that. It wasn't objective. They assumed it was racism. That's their fault, dude. They assume the worst of it because in their minds they already make racist connections with these things. You know, it's like, that's wrong, dude. It's morally wrong to just automatically think like, oh, this race is comparable to this kind of animal. What the fuck, dude? I'm not the one that made that shit up. So it's like, they made these connections in their minds before me, but I'm guilty for something they invented. See, I don't understand that. You could try to put a spin on it. That, oh, you should have known better. Men are getting weak, and they encourage weakness because if all men are weak together, then they think that's the answer. Oh, let's just put everyone down the hierarchy. Because if every man's a beta cuck, then they are relatable to each other. You know, it makes sense what I'm saying. If every man is a beta cuck, none of them are kings then. They're all just beta cucks. And then at that point, there's no leader, there's no king there because they're all equal to each other at a low point. But that's what they want though. That's what they want because they're afraid of having a leader direct them. That's what it is, dude. There's a hierarchy of who gets the privileges over everyone else and who doesn't. It's like, well, what's that about? Isn't that racism automatically too? You know? If you say that black people deserve more privileges than Hispanics, isn't that racism then, technically? Because by that logic, like, Hispanics are less important then? I'm right. Objectively, I'm right. I know people can, say a lot about that. Oh, well, black people have been through worse. I agree. Historically, like, there are a lot of things we could point to, at least in America. But to say that one race deserves more treatment and better, like, special treatment, granted all these privileges over the other race entirely, well, I mean, isn't that kind of racist?